end of the day, being autistic's just a part of me. I mean, I don't think about how I have brown hair or fingernails. They're just there. They've always been there, and I don't think about it.
I think being a parent of an autistic child, the most important thing to remember is to just take it one step at a time, one day at a time.
Would describe it as a journey that helped me to learn how to better advocate for people and better advocate for Christopher.
Just having the diagnosis made a big difference. It explained a lot. A lot of questions were answered. Just getting that diagnosis was a big deal.
I think being a parent of an autistic child is sometimes a struggle, but I mean, you have the same goals for your child. You want your child to succeed, and it's no different than having, quote unquote, a normal child.
I wish that everyone knew that autism is fundamentally about a way that an individual interacts with the world, their environment, differences in learning, differences in perception, and that these differences are what makes human diversity interesting.
I was diagnosed with ASD as an adult at the Mind Institute. What I found with the diagnosis is that it was very empowering because it answered a lot of questions about how I was.
I think the first thing I'd wish is that they have realized every individual is different and they have their own individual unique struggles. So you have to accept who they are as an individual, their own unique struggles.
I just have this thing I like to call a social battery. Like, when I'm on the green, everything's good, I'm chilling, I'm having a good time. When it starts getting lower and into the red, like, I get tired, my brain feels fuzzy, and it's tiring to keep talking to people, and I just don't interact with them. I mean, my friends are pretty understanding of it.
What I wish people would know about autism, I think it should be celebrated. Yes, it's being different, but every person is different.
My sister thought I had autism, and it was Asperger's syndrome at that time, and so she took me to the Mind Institute, and it was news to me. I had no idea, but I consider it so disabling that it's a complete disability, and I think that has to do with the fact that I had no help or support with it until I was in my mid-50s and diagnosed at the Mind Institute. My advice to any adult who thinks they're on the spectrum, go get diagnosed because it's very empowering.
Lots of us don't really bring up being autistic in scenarios, and everyone's autism hits different, so you might have talked to at least one person without knowing. Like I said, people don't really mention it. Like eye color or having fingernails. I don't really think about it and don't mention it in casual conversations. I mean, I like being antisocial pretty often. A lot of my free time is spent sitting in my room, browsing Tumblr, and not talking to anyone. I do get kind of uneasy if no one else is in the house, though. Just because I don't talk to people most of the time doesn't mean I hate socializing or anything. I have friends, and it's fun being on the same wavelength as someone else, being able to find common ground with a person and just both of you just word vomit at each other. As an autistic person, there's things I don't like eating, much like any other person. But I don't know how many people don't like onions specifically because they crunch weird. Like, onions have this weird way they crunch. Kinda like apples, except apples are sweet, so I don't hate apples. Hi, can I get a cheeseburger with just the meat and cheese and absolutely nothing else on it? Story of my life.
With Christopher, he learns to appreciate the day. He's taught me through my life, through our journey together, it's just to appreciate the simple things in life. Enjoying the good air or growing what's outside. It's just, he has a different view on the world. He sees things differently, and I love seeing things through his eyes.
My child is extremely smart and extremely knowledgeable, and he's wonderful to talk to. He likes to talk about current events. He loves to game, and all around, he's just a joy to be with every day.
My son has a diagnosis of autism and ADHD, and sometimes his impulses can get in the way of his social interactions, and it's very hard to be gentle with him and teach him that it's okay that these impulses happen, but then have him work on them and understand them and improve them for the next time. That's a very big challenge for me as a parent and him. If you can just take it one step at a time and know that it's okay to start and stop, it's okay to pivot, and not everything is going to be linear, then I think you'll give yourself a lot of grace and a lot of understanding through the process. And I cannot recommend practicing self-care and mindfulness enough. It will truly change your life.
I always wonder, if everyone's different, what's the standard for being typical, you know?